Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And well, today we're gonna be reviewing of the next superhero film from DC, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, first of all, I gotta say, is a DC character that I don't know nothing about. I never read the comics of it, so I don't know nothing about Blue Beetle. So I don't know if how certain aspects of this character is faithful. I don't know. So, but Blue Beetle. What I think about this film, I would probably say this is probably just a generic superhero film. I mean, stuff that I've probably seen a whole bunch of times in past superhero films. And I mean, it's like with the Blue Beetle's he's like a combination of both Iron Man and Spider Man. But I'll get to that though. But Blue Beetle, well, it's not doing that well. What a surprise! Because this film cost over $100 million, and its open weekend made about 25, so it's not doing that well domestically so far. And like all the recent past superhero films, especially they came out this year, the last DC film, well, the last two DC films, I would say, Shazam 2 bombed, especially The Flash bombed. Now Blue Beetle, what I say, is this the worst superhero film? No. It was the worst movie this year? But hell no, it ain't. First of all, especially The Flash, that pissed me off so much. That's much far worse. That's one of the top two of this year. Fuck the Flash film, especially Ezra Miller didn't help, and it's just. I mean, the lead guy here, pronounce his name though, but he's the guy who plays one of the lead characters in the show Cobra Kai. Was the character's name Miguel or something like that? He's one of the main characters in Cobra Kai. He plays the guy Reyes as the Blue Beetle. I mean, I would still say I would probably take him over Ezra Miller anytime, because Ezra Miller, he's a piece of shit of a human being. Fuck him. And I don't know. The film's not doing that well so far, I would say. So, but I think it's people are, like I said before, I think people are just getting tired of superhero films. Superhero fatigue. But that's why a lot of these recent super films haven't done that well, because people are just are not interested, are just getting tired of seeing these type of films anymore. So, but like I said, I don't know nothing about the character Blue Beetle. To me, it's like a typical generic by the numbers superhero film. It's like a combination of both Iron Man and Spider Man, like especially the suit. It's like a blue Iron Man, but with added the legs. What Peter Parker had in Avengers Endgame. With the spider mechanical legs. What was it say? Kill, whatever. Insta kill, I'd probably say, yeah. With the robotic legs, right? So, the story is, I mean, you have Yami. I was going to say, it sounds like Jamie Reyes, but it says how the first name sounds differently. He comes home from college. Their family is on the verge of losing their home, so him and his sister tries to help out. And this organization called Cord Industries, and it's run by Susan Sarandon, who's your villain in this. And that's the thing, Susan Sarandon, I like her as an actress though, right? But I don't buy her as a villain. I think she was miscast in this film. I don't buy her as a villain. The closest to a villain I see her in is when I saw her in Thelma and Louise. Closest, But Susan Sarandon, I don't buy her as a villain. So. but she runs it called Cord Industries. Her brother disappeared. She's trying to find out why, and she's creating these weapons called the One Man Army Corps, but she needs this scarab to do so. And she has a niece who is her brother's daughter. And with the lead guy, I'll just call him Miguel from Cobra Kai. So if I best, because that's a lot of people know him from Cobra Kai. Miguel. Miguel, he falls in love with her instantly. Him and his sister go work at Cord Industries as cleaners. And I forgot to mention, but the first time he gets off the plane when he comes home, there's a guy who's white being a little racist. I'm like, oh jeez, we gotta throw this in there. Because the thing is, this whole film, this superhero film, it's a Latino, right? I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to do it because they have Black Panther. They're trying to have an Asian superhero film like they did with Shang-Chi. So now they're trying to have a Latino superhero with Blue Beetle, right? They're trying to be like that. Well, first off, I wasn't a fan of those other ones either, Black Panther or Shang-Chi. So, but seeing that, yeah, of course. And also, but one positive I could say about the film, one of the few positives I could say, his mother is played by Elpidia Carrillo. Yeah, I got it. Elpidia Carrillo, who played Anna from Predator. I'm like, is that Anna from Predator? I'm like, holy shit, damn, I haven't seen her since Predator, I'm like, oh, cool, it's Anna from Predator, cool. Nice to see her there. She plays as the lead guy's mother. His uncle is played by George Lopez. I'm like, when I first heard about George Lopez, I'm like, really? George Lopez in a DC movie, really? But George Lopez, he was funny in his show, George Lopez, right? I wasn't really... Some of the films he's been in, I wasn't particularly a fan of. Mayer, of course, he's one of the guys... Of course, you've seen the trailer. He's the one who calls Batman a fascist. Yeah, people people who are fans of Batman probably will take offense to that. So... And the sister, I did not care for. I thought she was very annoying and irritating. I did not like her at all. And especially when she says stupid lines of dialogue, right? It's like before they were getting fired from the company they were working in, and there's one of these big bathrooms where they're supposed not to go in, and she goes and says, "Oh, I deserve a luxury dump right now." I'm like, you deserve to take basically a luxurious dump right now. I'm like, great. What is this film has 67% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, this is your dialogue. Or even earlier before, it was like, come on, tell him the truth. Hey, he have his tacos. Let him have his truth now. I'm like, what does that mean? If he wants the truth, he can have his tacos, then he can have the truth. I'm like, what does that even mean? And then shortly afterwards, she goes, "Says I have to take a luxury dump right now." I'm like, great, more bad jokes, especially that. But to Susan Sarandon's niece, the next day, gives it to Miguel from Cobra Kai, and then she leaves. And when he gets home, he opens it. It's a scarab. And then it latches onto him because he's been chosen. And of course, it kind of like a test run, like it's a comparison with Iron Man, and Spider-Man. It goes like a test run, like how when Iron Man test run his own for the first time, it doesn't really work out. And it's a combination with Spider-Man, because it has the blues, mostly like Iron Man suit, but with the the large legs, like with Spider-Man's armor Spider-Man, you know, like when he activates insta kill. So, but I thought the sister was irritated, and same with the niece. I didn't care for her at all either. Like I said, Susan Sarandon, she was badly miscast, and especially another unfunny joke. I guess I'm high. Or another unfunny joke is when if you see the trailer where George Lopez is driving this large Beetle type vehicle, right? And then the vehicle speaks and it says, "Activate bug fart." I'm like, really? It really says so you to activate bug fart. It really tells you to fart basically. It's kind of like, you know, when they're being chased by the military. So, choose to try to kind of like blind them, like a smoke screen basically. But when they would do, they try to get out. You know, I'm like, yeah. So you have a ship that tells you to activate bug fart. I'm like, great. Rather fart in this movie. And George Lopez, I mean, I like George Lopez, but he does not fit in this film at all. He did not fit in this film. Especially, you know, some of the recent ones he's done, it has been all that well, too, so. But he's one of the ladies he's one who calls Batman a fascist. And then when we did the test in the store, when he tested, like, when it latches onto him, it latched onto his back, and, I guess it was a kind of a cool effect, because when it activates, it kind of like burns his clothes off his skin, so like no second, third degree, first degree burns. I'm trying to think. I think was it the scene when George Lopez is driving the vehicle, or was when like later on the same time when Miguel from Cobra Kai is with these people at like at one point you hear the song "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue plays, and I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good song. Okay, I like we put a song like that in there, like a song from Motley Crue, like Kickstart My Hump. I mean, like Kickstart My Heart, yeah. So, I mean, it's a nice piece of music, and I liked Elpidia Elpidia Carrillo, yeah. And another thing is, besides like the film drags on it, the film did not need to be over 2 hours long. Like every other superhero film, it has to be over 2 hours long, right? So yeah, this film did not be 2 hours long, like every other superhero film does. And what else has the film has brought? It brought nothing new, nothing special to the table that we've seen in all these other superhero films. And so after all that, I mean, after the bad guys, you know, finally they capture him, you know, and try to extract whatever power is, because to power up, like, their weapons, you know, the one-man army corps. Then the guy, Susan Sarandon has the Henchmen that has kind of like the same powers as the Blue Beetle, you know. Which is quite funny, you know, like, they try to have, like, similar, you know, identical, you know, a hero battling like identical to the villain, like in Black Panther, you know, Black Panther fighting Killmonger in a Black Panther suit, right? Or Iron Man, the first Iron Man film, fighting another different evil Iron Man, right? It's kind of like this, like Blue Beetle fighting an evil version of a Blue Beetle. So, and then after what the henchmen they're trying to have us feel sorry for the villain, right? You know, it was showing how which funny, like the suit for the Blue Beetle is kind of like having once again a similarity like in Spider-Man Homecoming, when with the Spider-Man suit talking to Peter Parker, right? And basically the suit telling him, "Oh, don't kill him," right? Showing the flashes of what he has done before, trying to make us feel sorry for the villain, and well, don't kill him. I mean, the guy basically your father had a heart attack, and there's one guy who was helping you and killed him, right? You can see like a blood splatter from the door window, But he wants to make us feel sorry for the guy, just. And I'm just saying, it's just I don't buy any more of this by more sympathetic. I mean, if you want to see a sympathetic villain, go watch Creed 3 with Jonathan Majors' character of Damian. That's how you do a sympathetic character the right way, right? A sympathetic villain the right way. But a lot of times stuff like in the MCU, Travis has to make a sympathetic villain. Same with here. Don't buy it. But whatever he did, one leads to another. He ends up blowing himself off along with Susan Sarandon. So, and then also even his grandmother, the lead guy, his grandmother has a laser Gatling gun. I'm like, and she's like shooting, laughing hysterically. I'm like, I think even the look on the guy's face looks like he's like shocked. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I would too. I mean, you have a granny with shooting a laser Gatling gun, laughing like a maniac. I'm like, I would too. And a lot of the jokes I think was just not funny, Especially the sister I find annoying, and I didn't care about the love interest, the girlfriend, or the niece of Susan Sarandon. I mean, especially the sister with her dialogue, especially saying, "I deserve a luxury dump." I'm like, oh, grim. I mean, even George Lopez. I mean, I like George Lopez, but some of the films I'm thinking was not that funny in, but I like his comedy show, sitcom, George Lopez. I mean, calling Batman a fascist, and or for comedy, for the vehicle that they're driving in, saying activate bug fart, try to shoot out the back or try to make it like steam go out, make it go faster, whatever. Yeah, bug fart. Susan Sarandon, badly miscast. I don't buy her as a villain, especially a comic book villain. So, and then after all of that, I mean, all's well that ends well, basically. I mean, they're trying to make this go with this franchise, just. I mean, overall the acting. I mean, the lead guy, the guy from Cobra Kai. I mean, he was not horrible. I mean, honestly, I still think I still think he's better than Ezra Miller by far. But he was trying, I would say, at best. I mean, George Lopez. He was alright, I guess. I mean, Susan Sarandon. I mean, her acting was fine, but I just don't buy her as a villain. I think she was just miscast. I mean, try and make us once again be sympathetic for a villain, especially for the side villain, this Henchmen. Trying to be like similar to like the other ones I said. Try to be pit a superhero against a similar type of superhero, right? Like Iron Man versus Iron Man, Black Panther versus Black Panther. That type of similarities here. A Blue Beetle versus an evil version of a Blue Beetle. And it's like a mix of Spider-Man and Iron Man, The suit, like mixture of Iron Man with the Spider-Man legs, I mean, the effects, the CGI, nah. It's a nah. Can't say like it was like. I mean, it was like a little decent bit where when he puts on the suit, and his clothes like melt off, because this is after the first time we see him, he's butt naked. So when he puts on the suit, it melts his clothes off. But the humor, while I think just wasn't funny. I mean, the only positives it's nice hearing that song. by Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. It was cool to see Elpidia Carrillo in there from Predator. Hey, from Predator, she hasn't done. I haven't heard nothing from her since then. So it was cool to see her as the mom. I mean, did not be 2 hours long. So I'm not overall mad at the movie. It's just like it's what I expect, you know. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about Blue Beetle. I don't know about the comic book character. If is the character Latino, okay, fine. It's being that little bit faithful to the comics, okay. But at the same time, it's like, you know, we try to do something like having with their Asian superhero film like Shang-Chi, you know, or your black superhero like with Black Panther, right? Well, it's obvious because that is faithful to the comics. I get that though, but it's like the films of today, you know, and then you try to have your Latino superhero like with Blue Beetle, you know, and I mean, first of all, with Black Panther, I mean, I didn't care for the movie, but I thought there was a better black superhero, and that is Wesley Snipes' Blade. People seem to forget, you know, about how that Blade's basically the one who restarted the superhero films. But I really love Blade. So people seem to forget that, you know. And well, this would be one of the worst movies of the year. I probably would not put it in my top 10. But we'll see on that, though. Because I'm not overall mad at the movie. That's why it's not a huge rant. It's just like, this is what I expected, you know. I just think, overall, I think the film sucked, you know. I'm sorry. People like the film, that's fine, you know. But I didn't. So that's my review on Blue Beetle. I'm not a fan of it, obviously, so. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned for the next movie review, and we'll see you next time. Later.